Hello, and welcome back to my channel. In case you've been wondering what I've been doing, I've just been living in Cambodia for the last 8 months, and life's been pretty chill. Not much to report until recently. If you haven't seen the news, Cambodia and Thailand are almost at war with each other. Right now there's a ceasefire, and I hope it holds. I hope the conflict is over. But for the last 5 days, the two countries have been shelling each other with artillery, and it's only about like 4 hours away from where I'm located. Now, if I felt like I was in danger, I'd be out of here, but I'm planning on staying here. The reason for creating this video is, am I prepared for what could potentially happen here? And to be honest with you, I don't feel like I'm prepared enough by my own standards. What I mean is, I used to have a lot of contingencies in place for all sorts of emergencies, but since I've been traveling, I'm not as well equipped as I used to be. So I want to discuss some successes and failures that I think are facing my current situation, and it's kind of a learning experience for both of us. So let's have a real talk about what's going on right now. Okay, real quick before we jump into the rest of the video, I just want to tell you about why you might value my opinion. So I did some time in the military where I was a cavalry scout in the Army. I love being outdoors, camping, hiking, and trekking. I even did some time with search and rescue in the mountains. But what I'm doing right now is actually just backpacking around the world. So I spent a year in Europe and a year in Asia, and I'm currently half a year into South America. And the thing about all these phases of my life is that I need good gear and equipment to do the things I want to do. So I don't claim to be an expert in any of this. I'm just sharing my experiences, and I hope it helps you. So let's jump into the product review. Okay, so based on that intro that I made a while ago, that's outdated, but it gives you a quick idea of my personality type and my background. But I'll elaborate just a little bit. When I was back in the States, I was a lot more prepared than I am right now. Like, I had in my car, I had a get-home bag that had supplies enough to get me home. That's including food and water and shelter materials. And then once I was at home, I had like a much larger emergency setup with like a bug-out bag or a go bag, that like an extended survival bag. Lots of food and water and medical supplies, guns and ammo, all that stuff. Now I don't have any of that. I'm minimalistic by my own standards because I'm traveling, but if you talk to other like backpackers, they would probably say I have too much stuff. So I'm kind of in a weird middle ground between like not having everything I want, but having a lot more than some minimalists. And so I want to kind of go through the gear that I do have with me and see if I had to basically bug out from my current situation here due to conflict, what would I actually take with me? What would be practical? One of the problems that I face is that I don't always know where I'm going to end up when I'm traveling. So for example, last time I left home, I brought clothing for hot weather and cold weather. Now since I've been staying in Southeast Asia, all my cold weather gear has just stayed in my luggage. I haven't even used it. So in that sense, I have extra stuff that's unnecessary. But if I have to leave here, do I want to take any of that with me? And that's kind of stuff I want to think about. Well, if you're in a real situation, fuck that big bag. Grab a little bag, grab your wallet, maybe a phone, and definitely a passport, and just get the hell out of here. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, but seriously, if you're in a real situation, yeah, just grab your phone and your passport and some form of currency. Cash is good, and just get out. But I'm thinking more realistically, like if I want to have a bag with a little bit more, including some luxuries too. Like, I'm not going to be directly in danger, at least I'm not planning to. So what am I realistically going to grab to take with me? All right, you've seen me do a review on this bag before. If you haven't seen that video, you can find it on my channel, but I'm going to grab this bag and prepare to fill it up with some items to take with me if I need to bug out of here. And my thought process here is I can always load things up into this, and if I need to ditch some items on the way, I can do that, right? So again, to clarify, I do not consider myself prepared, but I'm just looking through everything that I do have. This med kit that I've been traveling with, and I've done a review on this. Unfortunately, I did not do the upgrades to this like I planned to, because last time I went home to the States, it was during the holidays, and I was just busy with, Thanksgiving and Christmas and just seeing people I hadn't seen in a long time. So I didn't have a chance to upgrade this like I wanted to, but I'm still going to throw it in my bag. Now again, I'm just grabbing stuff that I have around the house. I'm going to bring a big bottle of water. This is heavy. If I'm walking a long distance, I'm either probably going to drink it pretty quickly to stay hydrated, or I might just ditch it because it's a lot of weight. But it doesn't cost me anything just to throw it in the bag in the beginning anyways. And hydration is going to be important here because it is hot. I get dehydrated very quickly in this climate. Now we're talking about the weather. Yeah, it's hot here, but it also rains a lot, especially right now. It's like monsoon season. When it rains, it pours. It is just brutally wet. So how do you deal with hot and wet weather? Well, that's something I always struggle with, even when I'm not dealing with an emergency situation. I don't have a great solution for that. If you have any ideas in the comments, please let me know. I love Southeast Asia, except for the weather here, man, it kills me. But as part of my bag, I do have a rain fly that I carry with it, high visibility, just in case. And then also, I have a poncho here that I bought when I was in Vietnam. It's like $1. It's not very durable, but you know what? It's super lightweight, good to have. Hey, while I'm at it, I've got this little tiny headlamp, so it weighs almost nothing. I'll bring that with me. One more thing, I can easily just grab my watch and put that on. This is a Garmin GPS watch, but funny enough, it doesn't really have any maps supported in Cambodia, so it's been kind of useless for me here, except for as a clock. But I will take this with me for sure. All right, what else do I have here? Long sleeve, it's like a lightweight hoodie, sun protection. And if I end up in a colder climate, it could save me. To match with that, lightweight, long pants, mostly for sun protection. Also going to throw in a couple extra pairs of socks and underwear because I'm going to be sweating. I'm going to need to change my clothes a lot. Now, could you just bug out with one pair of clothes, the clothes that you're wearing? Absolutely. Again, I'm throwing in some luxury and comfort items. I'd rather have extra than not enough, and you can always ditch them on the way if you had to. So that's my thought process. Now, one problem I'm running into is that since I'm trying to be minimalistic as I travel, all of my lightweight shirts, I use them every day, and I can't have them dedicated to my bug out bag because then I wouldn't be able to wear them here. So do I buy extra shirts and have them as dedicated emergency clothing, or do I just have to do laundry every single day to keep them clean? I don't know what the answer is to that. All right, let's talk footwear. I dug these out of my luggage. I bought these actually when I was back in the States because I needed a new pair of hikers because I made a video about my old ones that I'd had for years and they just were so beat up. They're still strong enough, but I wanted a new pair. So I bought these, and they're basically brand new because it's too hot for me to wear traditional footwear like this in Cambodia. But these are waterproof, and I think that would be very good to have here. Not to mention, you know, there's a bunch of snakes and creepy crawly things on the ground sometimes here, but for the wet weather, I think these waterproof boots would probably be good for me. I would do a review on these, except I haven't really worn them very much, so let me put these through the ringer and then I'll let you know how they do in a real world test. I am trying to go to Nepal later this year, so maybe if I put some trekking in Nepal, I can tell you how these perform there. You know, normally in Cambodia, I just wear some sandals like these. I probably would just throw them in the bag because they don't take up any space. They just add a little bit of extra weight. The only time I wear shoes here is when I go to the gym, and I made a review on these. These things, they're cheap from Amazon. They don't quit, though. They are just so rugged, surprisingly, for the price. Yeah, this is my normal footwear, but you know what? We're bugging out. We're taking these ones with us. All right, let's get controversial for a second. I'm probably going to bring my computer with me because it's a high-value item. I don't necessarily want to just leave it where I am and consider it a loss because I could leave it in the apartment here, and I don't know how long I'm leaving for, and I don't know who's going to be managing the apartment while I'm gone. But some things I could leave behind is like the charger for the laptop. It's extra weight that I don't necessarily need. I can try to find a charger on the way. So I would plan on bringing my computer with me, and I know that is probably going to raise a lot of red flags, like it's heavy, it's going to take up space. Do I really need it? But I think I'm going to take it with me. But in trying to be practical, like I've got my Nintendo Switch here, I would probably leave that. And yes, it's a monetary loss, and that sucks. But again, you have to kind of pick and choose your battles here. I'm trying to come from the perspective of like, I'm leaving this apartment, and maybe I can come back to it, maybe I can't, right? So some things I can leave here, and maybe they'll remain in my possession, but there's no guarantee of that. I'm leaving because of a conflict, and I don't know when or if I'm coming back, right? So what am I leaving behind? I'm leaving behind a lot of electronics other than my computer, a lot of clothing. I guess that's kind of it. So what am I taking is basically some basic clothing, the essentials, which is like my passport and my wallet, and some rain gear. That's definitely important right now. And what deficiencies do I have that I would like to take that I don't have? I think that's going to be one of the most important parts of this conversation right here. I mentioned a couple times that I have my wallet with me, but ironically today I don't have much cash. Normally I go to the ATM and I withdraw large amounts at a time. So there's like fewer transactions, but I just carried cash. I've drained almost all of it now. So like if I had to leave right now, I would be almost cashless. But what I'm going to do is either today or tomorrow, I'm going to go to the bank and get a large sum of money in small denominations, because cash is very useful for trying to catch a ride or pick up things you might need on the way. If you need to cross borders, you know, you can do exchanges and things like that. So I need cash. I don't have cash, but I need it. The other thing, talking about transportation, like how am I bugging out? I have a bicycle here. That's not going to get me too far. One thing that now if I want to stay in Cambodia, and I do, I want to stay here longer, I'm planning on buying a motorbike. It would be great to have a motorbike so I'm not reliant on like finding a bus or finding a ride to get out of here. Motorbikes are limited. You can really only carry yourself, maybe a passenger, and not a lot of supplies, right? But worst case scenario, if I just need to bug out quick, it's better to have a bike, like a motorcycle, and just be able to hop on it and go and not worry about like, oh, I need to get to the bus station or find a taxi or something like that. So for my lifestyle, like having a motorbike is an expensive asset, but in an emergency, it's a very, very invaluable asset to have. And so if you stay tuned to my channel, I'm probably going to buy a motorbike eventually, and that should be a cool video review for me to do. So stay tuned for that. What else, guys? I know that people that watch this kind of video are very like-minded. Maybe they have some good recommendations for me. Again, I feel like I'm not prepared for this, and thankfully I don't have to be yet, right? I don't feel like I'm in danger, but like, what if shit hit the fan? I feel like I'm unprepared, and I'm disappointed in myself. Like, I should know better. I should have a better plan. I have some things I need to do. I need to improve my first aid kit. I need to test these boots to see how well the footwear is going to do. I need to, you know, rethink my electronics and my cash situation and get a damn motorbike. So what am I doing wrong? Help me out here. Hopefully this has been an insightful... I'm kind of just spitballing here. This is not a detailed video to make. This is like a real world scenario where like, holy crap, I'm not prepared. And so it's a learning experience for me, and hopefully you're getting something out of this too. So let me know in the comments what I messed up on. What am I missing? It's a weird situation for me right now, but I'll be okay. I know how to either handle dangerous situations if need be, or how to avoid dangerous situations. So I'll keep watching the news and see what happens here. Hopefully there's peace soon. I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.